so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live. Welcome to the Dropshot, episode number 32 at this time in our young adult lives. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. I am joined, as always, by my good friend Tanner. Tanner, say hello to everyone.
What is going on, everybody?
Not much, replied everybody. We're ready to get this thing started. Okay, we hear you, Twitch chat, and our dear listeners. A couple announcements. We've got a lot to talk about today. Now, I feel like I say that almost every episode, because almost every episode it's true. And today's no exception. Quite a few... I shouldn't say quite a few news items, but a couple news items that are pretty content dense to cover. But also, there were a ton of stealth changes that happened that were uncovered recently by our good friend Exclusive Ace. So we're going to be going through those as well in our analysis of those things, if they're good and if they're bad. So there's going to be a lot to hit today. But first, let's just get through these announcements real quick. I'll try to be brief. Infinity Lion in Rael. Still don't exactly know how to pronounce your name. Change it. But thank you for the offline subs, boys. I understand some of you may not be able to be here live typically. I do appreciate the offline subs. I think I meant to mention both of you earlier, but I've made a note now. So thank you both for subbing. Very much appreciated. Very honored, humbled, and privileged to have you here. And in the future, I will be acknowledging those offline subs and biddies. I apologize in advance, or in retrospect, rather, if I've missed any of those things. So thank you both, boys. Appreciate it. Another little announcement. I did start a clips playlist on YouTube. And this is not really going to be important for you guys exactly. But what it will be important for is your friends, your stupid friends. Now, I know you've all been just talking about the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast nonstop, right? And your friends are getting sick of you. And you're saying, I promise you, it's the best podcast. Nay, it's the best piece of media I've ever consumed. So you're super excited and you want to share it with your friends. But you also are a sophisticated adult and you understand it's a very big ask to tell your friend, hey, go listen to this 2.5-hour podcast episode. I get it. So what I've done for you, and only for your benefit, this doesn't benefit me at all. That's a joke. But as I've made a clips playlist on the YouTube. So these clips are just like little segments that stand alone that are taken out of episodes. So if you can't convince your friends to watch a whole episode, you've been trying to, maybe, instead you can maybe find a clip you like and send them a clip. I've only got 2 up right now, but going forward, I'm going to take out like good segments of particular episodes, clip them, and then they'll be pretty short. Like this one's 7 minutes, this one's 9 minutes, and they hit one topic and then you're out. So then you could show that to someone you love because you want them to have to bask in the glory of the Dropshot, obviously, and then they can assess for themselves after having watched or listened to this clip whether or not they want to continue watching. So you can find that on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Razanon, or you can find it conveniently linked for you in the Twitch chat.
That's a great idea, dude. Because, if I have a coworker or somebody, if they're telling me to listen to a 2.5-hour podcast, know what I'm not doing is never, ever listening to that podcast and taking their advice.
It's a big ask. It's a big ask. Yeah. So.
Great idea. Good job, Razanon. Twitch.tv/Razanon.
Hey, thanks, dude. Vaping Viking. With the tier 1 sub to Bearded Gunslinger. Bearded Gunslinger, welcome to this small but vibrant and extremely humble community. Thank you for the kind words of the past, and thank you for being here tonight. And welcome to the family. Vaping Viking, hello, greetings, and thank you for the 970th gifted sub in this channel. I appreciate you as always. Welcome back, brother. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. So, yeah, if you could start sending those clip videos to your friends, that's great. Tweet them out and at people that you play the game with, great. Especially if I'm making a point that you agree with, you can say, hey, look, the hottest up and coming podcast in gaming agrees with me. So you can use me as an appeal to authority, which is a logical fallacy, but your dumb fucking friends probably don't know that. So you can use that to your advantage. Tweet it, Instagram it, share it. Spread the word, spread the love. So keep that in mind. And then what else was I going to show? This is just a little bit of gloating. This is a screenshot from SoundCloud, which is where I host the pod. We've officially had an episode surpass 1,000 plays or downloads or listens or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So this has been, I've been hungering for this number for quite a while. This was the first one that I saw that passed 1,000. I think there are 2 more now, and I think this one's almost certainly has more listens than this now. But thanks to all you guys. Obviously, it is you kind people who have been listening and spreading the word, because obviously our very first episode never got 1,000 listens. So I appreciate all of the support thus far, and you guys talking to your friends and shit. It might not seem like it helps, but I mean, we went from 50 listens to 1,000 in the span of like 3 months. The only way that happened is because of you guys telling people, even, offhandedly or off the cuff or without a second thought. So I appreciate it. Very nice of you. And Tanner and I were very happy to hit that milestone. So thank you all. I got another nice little email. This is just all me gloating.
That's what we do, dude.
It is what we do.
We're proud of ourselves.
Chartable's top 200. I got a little email that was nice today. If you guys are following me on Twitter or on Instagram, which you should be, you have probably already seen this, but I got an email. Congrats, Dropshot is ranking on Chartable's top 200. So I don't know exactly what this indicates because it's referring to reach, not listens. But it could be listens also. I don't know. But number 44 in the United States for reach in our category, which is leisure, and number 51 globally in that category. So that is awesome. Fantastic. I've never seen an email like that before. So that was cool to see. And also, I should say that not every podcast that exists uses Chartable. So this isn't like top 200 podcasts in the world or anything. Let's not get fucking crazy. But also that should be obvious. We're a very small, humble community here. So of course we're not top 200 yet, but we'll figure it right the fuck out. So once again, that's all you guys. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Vaping Viking, the mad fucking lad, with another gifted sub to Extended Lazy for a total of 63, which is absolute insanity. Hey guys, been listening to you on Spotify. First time watching live. What's up? Well, let that be your welcome, as Michael Malice would say, which is another great podcast if you guys are into podcasts, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. And Viking, of course, as always, thank you so much, brother, for the gifted sub and the 63rd of that kind. Very generous, man. I really do appreciate all the love. Fantastic. Fantastic. And then it's just been a bunch of milestones. I'm trying to skate through these. I'm sorry, but I can't contain myself. I just have to show you these. This was our first time where we got recognized in game. And you might not be able to see this, so I'll zoom the fuck in. Someone in game said, Tanner Dropshot, I love the podcast, my guy. Now, am I pissed it wasn't me that got recognized? Yes, absolutely. Makes me furious. But we were recognized in game for the very first time. Awesome. Just totally insane and awesome. And then this gentleman in the same match, oh shit, sorry, went on to say, I was listening to episode 30 on the way home from work today. I love it. So we know he wasn't bullshitting. So I swear she was 18. I know you're in the Discord. So shout out to you, brother, because you made our night that night. That was fantastic. So yes. And now on to the last announcement, which will be of more interest to you people listening. Tanner and I have been thinking of doing some gameplay breakdowns of listeners. Now, we haven't figured out quite how we would do it. I don't know if we would do subs, anyone, whatever. But we were thinking of doing gameplay breakdowns. And if you don't know what that is, you could check out like JGod on YouTube. He does these all the time. He does subscriber gameplay breakdowns. He'll have a video and he'll break down like whatever, 5 people's gameplays or like segments of it. So basically what you would do is you would record yourself playing a match, and this would be multiplayer only. We don't have time to do Warzone breakdowns, probably, but record yourself doing a multiplayer match, whatever, and then upload it somewhere, and then send us the link, and then we could like break down the gameplay on the podcast. So I would be able to show your gameplay on the stream, just like I show my browser or my own gameplay. And then we could critique you for your benefit and for everyone else's benefit. Now, I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. I know other channels do that, so I don't know if you'd prefer to get that kind of content elsewhere. But I thought it would be pretty fun. So I just wanted to run it by you, Boish. Let me know if that interests you. And if it does, or if it doesn't, let us know in the Discord, in the suggestions or the general for the Dropshot text channel. So keep those things in mind. So now we've got some iTunes reviews, and then we'll scoot on over here. Thomas Addison says, I used to listen to your Apex podcast, never had one, but I stopped because I hated Apex Legends for a long time. But I couldn't live with my own failure. And where did that bring me to back to you? So this person was under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
Holy shit.
He was not at school during the DARE program class, obviously. I've never done an Apex podcast. I've played probably 2 matches of Apex ever. Because as you guys who have been listening for a while may know, I don't really play BRs. I don't really like them. So Thomas Addison, thanks for the free 5 stars, you stupid bitch. But you've got the wrong guy. But nonetheless, great. Boost the analytics. This is hilarious from the New Hampshire gunslinger, who is in the chat now. He says, as someone who just got back into COD since COD 4, which is the original MDub, this is just a good pod with hilarious banter and good info. You have a friend in New Hampshire for life. Thank you, sir.
Damn.
Much appreciated. Krentar, I found this podcast looking for COD podcasts. This is my #1 source for information about MDub. I've been listening since episode 24 and haven't missed an episode since. This podcast helped me get through online school. Excuse me. I haven't been able to tune in a stream yet, but I'm going to join one soon. Thanks so much, guys. You make my day. Much appreciated. Krentar. Entertaining and informative. Severing TR recently started listening to these guys, mostly during my workday, but try and catch them live. Super entertaining, but also really informative for keeping up to date with the game. Give these guys a listen. Thank you, Sever. And then Adam RVA. Love this. I listen to this pod at work, and it makes getting through my annoying workday tolerable. I get pretty much all my COD news between you guys, Exclusive Ace, Good Listen, and Drifter. I think you listen to Drifter, Tanner? Do you vouch?
He's a YouTuber, right?
Do you okay? So you don't.
I've seen his
So
name,
you
but I've
don't.
never seen anything of him.
I'll keep that in mind. So I've never seen him either. I've heard his name too, though. I'm sure he's great. But Exclusive Ace is awesome, and of course, we're the best up and coming podcast in Call of Duty. Keep up the great work, and I hope very soon you guys can quit your day jobs and do this sort of thing all day. Me and you both. Adam, stay humble, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Adam. And once again, if you want your iTunes review read live on the pod, write whatever the fuck you want, and if your rating is 5 stars, I'll read it, and if it's not, I'll ignore it. How about that? All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to the fucking pod. All right. So I'm going to change the format of this podcast, by the way, so that announcements don't take that long in the future. Because I know that was just too much announcement. So we'll be cutting down on that in the future. But like I said in the last episode, if you hate the announcements, keep scrolling in your podcast app till you hear that music you just heard now, and then you'll be done. Except for this announcement. This is the exception. Deal with it. All right, so playlist updates. We've only got one. Courtesy of Charlie Intel, our dear friends. MDub and Warzone May 26th update, which was yesterday, or May 26th update, as the Englishmen in chat would say. Infinity Ward released a playlist update, blah, blah, blah. So we've got regular ass ground war back, blueprint gunfight, gun game on gunfight maps, which is actually kind of interesting.
Could be interesting.
Gun game is where you all start with like the same pistol, and then as soon as you get a kill, your gun automatically turns into another one, and then the first person to get through all 15 guns wins. And then Deathmatch Dom is back. This is sixes. I played some of it. It's pretty fun, but it's sixes, so it's not great. Drop Zone, and someone in the Discord asked me what that is. Drop Zone is it's kind of like Hardpoint, except there's just like a little spot on the map where all of the care packages, a bunch of random care packages drop, and they have regular ass streaks in them. So the entire match is everyone has streaks at all times. So it's a disaster. Don't play it. The only thing I would say is if you need to get launcher, like shoot down streaks, Drop Zone is perfect for that. And if you're trying to get Damascus, stop what you're doing, play Drop Zone until all your launchers are gold, and then never play it again. But otherwise, yeah, it's fucking terrible. And then 2 fan favorites are back, Shoot House 24/7 and Shipment 24/7 as well. So that is pretty great. This is something I wanted to talk about. Doesn't seem important, and it's not important, which is why I want to talk about it. Some new bundles, one of which is the Tracer Pack Purple. Get violent in Violet with the Tracer Pack Purple. Change the Tracer fire color of these guns. Welcome to Team Purple. Now, question for Tanner. What are your thoughts on this?
I think the blueprints look great. If you use the Tracer packs in Warzone, though, you're a moron, and everyone's going to know where you're at. They do look really cool, though. I was thinking about picking it up. And the other thing that came to mind for me is that I think they're kind of going after the whole GTA green versus purple thing. Have you heard about that?
Absolutely not. Tell me about it.
It's just GTA Online. There's groups of people that run around in like all purple or all green. What are they called? Just like these weird suits. They have a name. I can't think of it. But anyways, they say, welcome to Team Purple. I think they're kind of just poking fun at what's going on in Grand Theft Auto. Don't you ever go on TikTok, dude? There's videos all over of it. You haven't seen that?
Okay. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip that question from Tanner. Sometimes I go on TikTok. I'm not looking at gaming content, though, so you can...
Well, what are you seeing, then?
Take from that what you will.
It's based off of what you're watching and liking, so what do you have?
Well, you can take from that what you will. So, everyone on social media and everything, and in live streams, is talking about how excited they are for this. Like more than any other cosmetic bundle that has ever existed in the game. And I don't understand why. We've had blue tracers. We've had green tracers. No one gave a flying fuck, as it should be, by the way. And then all of a sudden purple ones get released and everyone's dick gets hard. Why? I don't get it. I think my theory is that it's for the growl.
Yeah.
That's my theory. But
And
even
the
that
MP7.
doesn't really make sense to me. Because who cares? You know? I don't get it. I don't know. And like you said, I would echo your sentiment that if you use tracers in Warzone, you're for sure, you're not trying to win, let's put it that way. But even in multiplayer, it's terrible. I love when enemies have tracers when I'm playing like multiplayer. Even like ground war.
Sure.
It's like, oh, okay, I know exactly where that guy is. It's very dumb to use these if you're trying to win. But I guess they look cool if you wanted to have a Star Wars skinned Call of Duty experience. But otherwise, I don't understand the hype. So,
Dude, that pack is like designed for Warzone. Those are probably 2 of the top 4 weapons used in Warzone. That's why they did it. The actual blueprint looks good,
True.
but the tracers I would never, ever want to use.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think you could use the blueprint without using the tracer. Unless you
Yeah, I
just
don't
went
think
to
so.
the little Frankensmith. And then there's
it's
also
possible.
another cosmetic bundle, Lumber Tactical, which looks like this. It's a Reigns skin, Bunyan. He's got a thick fucking beard. Looks like the black version of Tanner. So shout out to that if you like Reigns. And then what else do we have here? I think that's pretty much it. And then Activision also released a new trailer highlighting the Plunder Pack's return with a voiceover by Exhibit.
Yikes.
Wow. Well, I'm not
Can we not play that? Okay.
I'm gonna not play that.
Yeah.
Number one, on principle, but secondly, I don't know if we could get DMCA'd on an RSS feed for playing that. I feel like we couldn't. We've done it before. But for those of you who don't know, the Plunder Pack is just like, it's a bunch of vehicle camos for basically every vehicle. I think it's for literally every vehicle.
Yeah, it
And
is.
they make them like gold. So it looks like Donald Trump's like helicopter and SUV and shit. So
Does he have a gold helicopter?
he would want one if he doesn't. So
He doesn't, but yeah.
So that's it for that, for the playlist update there. Let's catch up on chat here. Let's see. Are you making 100 mil? No, so humble the fuck down. Oh, listen, I'm the most humble, Corey. I'm the most humble person you fucking know. How about that? Car 98 nuke inbound from me. Good luck, Corey. I love the idea of gameplay breakdowns. I definitely need my gameplay to be analyzed. Would be awesome. Real agrees. Okay. Or Riel. Okay, cool. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. I do think that would be super fun to do. And I think people, even if it doesn't sound super exciting, if they gave it a chance, they would enjoy it. The only thing is, I don't think we would actually do it on the podcast because that's something you would have to watch. So I wouldn't do it on the pod because if you listen to someone breaking down gameplay, it's not going to make sense. So we're going to have to somehow incorporate that into a like a separate thing on YouTube. But we could still record it live on Twitch. It would just be outside of the normal podcast times, but that could be super fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun, actually.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd love to hear Raz shit on 90% of the viewers. I wouldn't shit on anyone. If you're trying to improve,
Well,
I respect it. No, I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Because everyone starts somewhere.
Okay.
But I'm going to be critical. I'll say, hey, you shouldn't have taken that fight or whatever. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. But how old are... So Tanner is 28 and so am I. Right? We're 28. Yeah, we're 28.
Yeah.
What's up, Blood? Read the negative reviews too. Absolutely not. Low cap. We don't have any. Drifter is the original ace. That's good to know. That's good to know. Gift curse, welcome. Pissed my review got deleted. Yeah, you got to censor it. Put some asterisks in there and then it'll be good. I missed one in the chamber. Yeah. I don't like all of those goofy party modes, but to each their own. My dudes, I've been listening to you for about a month. Says it's BBMF or so, and it makes those work days go by fast. First time seeing it live. By the way, thank you guys. You convinced me to buy a PC. Let's fucking go. Dude, another convert. We've got another convert, dude.
That's like 3 or 4 confirmed.
I think it's 3 confirmed, maybe more.
Jeez.
Maybe more. Claptimus, this gentleman, and I think Elk are the 3 confirmed, but I think there are more that I'm forgetting. But fantastic. Welcome to the glorious PC Master Race. This is a completely different game on PC. I'll never go back to console. Dude, you love to hear it, brother. Welcome, 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 dude. They are called nerds. Kill yourself in game, Corey. Aliens, Riel. The Vaping Viking with another gifted sub. Let's fucking go. It's BBMF. Welcome to the small but vibrant and extremely humble community. Viking, thank you so much, dude. 64 total gifted subs. I love you forever, young king. Gun go purple, burr. Pimp My Ride was a banger of a show. Yeah, I think that's the impetus for it. So anyways, let's move on here. So now we got some patch notes. Now we're getting into the Tanner's favorite phrase.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Meat and potatoes of the episode.
You didn't say it. You didn't say it dumb like you usually do. So
I'll keep that in mind. So first thing, just going to get this out of the way. COD Endowment Fearless Pack now available in MW and Warzone. So it's kind of like that other one. Proceeds go to veterans. It's like a pretty cool operator skin. It's a Milsim skin. So it's not like a named operator. And then there's also a calling card, charm, watch, spray, camo. And then an M4 blueprint that looks like. And it was co-designed with Medal of Honor recipient Captain Florent Flo Groberg. That's interesting.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, the operator skin looks pretty dope. It's just some dude that looks like he's just stationed in Ramadi right now. He's got sunglasses on, desert camo, and then a balaclava that is also tan sand colored. So that's cool. We've also got another little update. Double XP will start in 2 days, May 29th through June 1st. And that's also going to be double weapon XP and double battle pass progression. So the season is ending soon on Tuesday, I believe. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they're ramping up the double battle pass.
Did you say it's ending Tuesday or starting?
Both.
What, Wednesday? Starts, wait. What was it?
We'll figure it out. We're going to get into it later. But it ends in 6 or 7 days. So they're ramping up the double battle pass shit this weekend. So if you need to get those last few tiers, then now's a good time. But they do this pretty much at the end of every season, or they have lately. So now we're getting into the fucking juicy stuff here. There were a buttload of stealth changes. So things that they added to the game that they did not mention in any patch notes, which is just par for the course for Infinity Ward. We have a lot to talk about here, and I've got a lot of words for some of these things. And I'm sure some of you may be able to guess what those are. But first of all, the Renetti has a new stock, totally unmentioned. It is the FTAC GX. It helps with your recoil control, so it says, and it hurts your ADS speed. What does it actually do? Lowers your ADS speed, doesn't actually help your recoil. LOL. So don't use this attachment for the Renetti. It does nothing but hurt you. So keep that in mind. Also, fall damage in multiplayer got reduced. This is a good change. In other words, you can fall farther without dying in multiplayer now. So some of you guys might already know this, but in Warzone, the fall damage is a lot less punishing than it is in multiplayer. So now multiplayer is a little closer to the Warzone fall damage, but it's still more punishing than Warzone is. But still, less fall damage in multiplayer, so that's good to know. But it's not like a crazy amount less. Another thing... okay, so you guys know how there's spawn protection? Like you get a chopper gunner and you're shooting into the spawn and then you see the little shield icon that indicates that they have spawn protection. That's gone now. That's gone now. So it's gone for player controlled streaks. So that means gunship, chopper gunner, maybe juggernaut, not sure. But if you're in a player controlled kill streak, if you're shooting at the ground where someone's about to spawn, they can spawn and immediately die. Now, all these hidden changes, by the way, are courtesy of Exclusive Ace. And this isn't all of them, but it's the important ones in my view. Subscribe to him on YouTube. So his theory is that this is just a bug, and I concur. There's no reason that they would take out spawn protection on purpose, right, Tanner?
There would be zero reason to.
There would be zero reason to. Now, normally I would say, well, of course it's a bug because they wouldn't make such a dumb decision on purpose. But this is Infinity Ward. This is Modern Warfare 2019. So who knows? But hopefully that gets fixed soon. Although it's not that big of a deal. If you're getting ass fucked in your spawn by kill streaks, you're probably going to lose anyway. But losing spawn protection is not great.
Know where it could be a big deal is when we're shitting on kids in ground war and they're on their last flag and we're dropping white foss on them. As soon as they spawn in, that white foss is going to be melting their bodies.
True. Very true.
We'll test it out after this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Second note, I didn't notice this, but I was happy to see it, and I think it's true. The visibility when white phosphorus is active is much better than it used to be. So now instead of not being able to see a goddamn thing, your visibility is still worse when white phos is up, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. You don't play that much, really, but have you noticed this since the 18th?
No, I haven't been using white phos actually at all since then. I kind of thought that the poor visibility was almost a good thing because also, you know, the enemy team, even if they're not dying to the white phos, they're at a lower health. So they can't see me very well as I'm, you know, mounted up on a corner playing the way I play. And I'm just beaming all of them, and it works out great for me because they die in like 2 or 3 shots. So it'll be interesting to see. I will run white phos after this. I'll probably get it my very first game on, so you guys can watch that after this on my Twitch stream.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some multiplayer after the pod. So anyway, so if you use white phosphorus, the visibility is better now. So I think that's good, especially when it's not my white phosphorus. I want to be able to see things. I don't want to not be able to play the game. So I think that's good. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. So I've got some graphics for you, courtesy of Exclusive Ace. And here's a note, and this is going to be important. 250 health in Warzone is full armor and full health. So that's the max amount of health you can have in Warzone. Now we're going to talk about launchers. So before the patch for launchers, we have 4 of them: Pila, Strela, Joker, RPG. The max damage radius. So if you're within this radius from the explosion, this is the farthest out you can be where you'll get damaged. If you're any farther, you won't get damaged. That's what radius means. So the Pila, its radius went from 7.5 meters to 8 meters. So now it has a wider radius. So the Pila got buffed in the radius department. Strela, 5.5 to 6 meters, buffed. Joker, 15 meters to 15 meters, stayed the same. And the RPG, 10 meters to 9 meters. So the RPG lost its max damage radius. It lost 1 meter. So now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, that's great. They said they were going to nerf the RPG, and they actually did. Well,
wrong.
Dear listener, that's not the whole story. So let's move on to the next statistic here. Minimum damage. So the minimum damage a launcher can do. So let's say you're standing right at that 9 meter marker, right on the edge of the radius. What is the least amount of damage you can possibly take from a launcher? From the Pila, it went from 80 to 50. So that got nerfed. There's a smaller amount of damage you can possibly take. The Strela stayed at 50. The Joker got increased from 100 to 150. That's not that big of a deal. The RPG, Before the patch, if you were as far away from the center as possible while still taking damage, you took 30. Now the least amount of damage you can take is 50. So for those of you who may have studied PhD mathematics, that is a 20 damage difference. So before the patch, you could take as little as 30 damage from an RPG. Now, if you take damage from an RPG, is at least 50, which is 1/5 of your total health pool, assuming you're full health, full armor. So that's kind of a little bit of a buff to an RPG. But you might be saying, listen, Raz, that's fine. That's fine, because 50 damage isn't that much, and you have to take into account, Razanon, that the radius got nerfed, so I still think it's fair to say that the RPG was nerfed. To which I would say, well, dear listener, we're not done yet. And here is the crux of the issue. Max damage. Pre-patch, Pila did 135. Post-patch, 250. So before this patch, the Pila could not one-shot you if you were full health. Now it can, because once again, full health, full armor is 250 damage. Strela, 135 to 250. Same thing here. It used to not be able to one-shot you, now it can. Joker is at 300 before, and it's still at 300, but the Joker is very difficult to get hit by in Warzone. And lastly, our favorite launcher here at the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, the RPG. Now, before the patch, the most damage you could possibly do was 150. So in other words, if you were at full health before this May 18th patch, and you took an RPG shot right at your feet, you wouldn't get downed in one rocket. Guess what it does now? Guess what the max damage potential of the RPG is now? Tanner, can you read out that post-patch value to us?
The post-patch value of the RPG, 250 max damage.
Wow, what a fucking nerf. What a nerf. What a nerf that is. The RPG used to not be able to one-tap you when you're full health, and now it can. Bravo, Infinity Ward. Bravo, you fucking retard, incompetent pieces of fucking garbage. How dare you writing your patch notes? Oh, we nerfed the RPG. We tuned down its damage. It used to be able to not one-shot you. Now it can. It's nerfed. What the fuck is going on here? How is this possible? How is this possible? So let me send it to you, Tanner, before I have an aneurysm. Why do you think this happened? Do you think, did they put a number in wrong to their code? Did they want to fucking troll us? What is the impetus for saying you nerfed the RPG, which is a huge problem in Warzone, by the way, but actually buffing it?
It's almost like the people putting out the patch notes don't work for the same company as the people coding the game, but they do work for the same company. They do. I could understand little errors happening if it was an Activision person putting out patch notes for Infinity Ward shit, but it doesn't make any sense. They all work for the same company. How did... Dude, plus 100 max damage? Plus 100 max damage.
It's laughably
and they're telling us
absurd.
they nerfed it.
Dude, it is laughably absurd. This is so outrageous that it's actually funny to me. Like, how many people have been complaining about RPGs? And then they say, hey guys, we hear you. We're gonna fix the problem. Buff it so now it can one-tap you. Fuck you, Infinity Ward. Fuck you. It's hard for me to believe that they're not trolling. It's honestly hard for me to believe, excuse me, that they're not trolling. Like, this is so outrageous. It's so outrageous. And they should know by now that they're not just going to get away with this. Like, no one's going to notice. Like, oh, I've never been one-shot by an RPG before. That's fucking weird. Didn't they say they nerfed this thing? Like, no one's going to notice. They brag about having 60 million players. and then they expect to put out this shit patch, this lie, and get away with it. What an outrage. What an outrage. Go ahead.
Dude, the thing is, too, is Ace is the one that leaks all this shit. And Ace has conversations with the devs on Twitter. They know what his videos are about.
Yeah,
They've undoubtedly watched some of his videos before. They know he's going to uncover this stuff. I find it hard to believe they're doing this on purpose. I don't know. I think it's just total incompetence, dude.
In all seriousness, it is absolutely total incompetence. Someone fucked up, and the RPG is now buffed. It's now better. So if you're not running EOD as your blue perk in Warzone, you should start, because RPGs are going to be even more rampant now. Guess what didn't change with the RPG, by the way? Guess what was not a part of the supposed nerf? Reload speed, exactly the same, fast as shit, especially with the amped perk, by the way, which most people use anyway, just so they can switch between weapons more quickly. Guess what else wasn't nerfed? Max number of launcher ammo you can hold wasn't touched at all. So the only actual nerf was the max damage radius got decreased by 1 meter. Everything else is better. Completely outrageous. And it's not even about the RPG itself. It is about that, because it's a huge problem in Warzone. It takes no skill, and it's completely anti-fun to have something be so good and also require so little skill. It's a fucking AoE rocket. Of course that's anti-fun. But also, it is the principle of consistently, reliably fucking up your patch notes every single time. Here's my challenge to you. I'll give anyone listening $50 if they can fucking link to me a set of patch notes that were not either wrong or missing something that actually changed with those notes. Because I genuinely, in all seriousness, do not think such patch notes actually exist. Now, I'm rescinding that offer, because if someone actually sends one to me, I'm not going to be able to, or not going to go through what the stealth changes were at that time. So I'm not giving anyone $50, actually. I was being hyperbolic. But I can't remember the last time there was a patch that was complete notes with no inaccuracies, that didn't leave anything out and didn't add in anything that they didn't actually add in. Can you? I mean, when's the last time? I literally can't think of a single instance ever.
I have a question for you regarding this RPG. Okay. Let's say they ended up decreasing the total number, or the total ammo count for the RPG, which maybe that's coming. Would you take the pre-patch RPG, say you can hold 7 or 8 RPGs at 150 max damage, or would you take the post-patch 250 max damage, only being able to hold, say, 3 or 4 RPGs, rockets?
Pre-patch?
To me, it's... You would take... Really?
Yeah. Because 3 or 4 is still a lot. And especially, in like, think about squads. Everyone has some launcher ammo. So even if you can only hold 3 or 4, you know, it's still going to be... You're still always going to have enough rockets for a single fight. And then when the fight's over and you're out of your 3 rockets as the designated rocket man, burning down the streets out here alone. That's Elton John for the boomers that are listening.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are, actually, which I appreciate. We have appeal across the age. We have cross-generational appeal, evidently. I've seen the analytics. But yeah, no, I think being able to one-shot with a fucking rocket is outrageous. And it went from being only the Joker could do that, which is totally unreasonable to expect that to hit, to now all of them can do it. That is crazy. So I'm hoping that this gets reverted. I'm really praying that this gets changed back. Do you think it actually does get changed back, Tanner?
I don't think it'll be changed back. Like I was just kind of saying, I think eventually, I don't know when the total ammo count will be dropped. But like you said, it really doesn't matter if you're running squads. If you're playing solos or duos, maybe it may make a difference. But
yes, agreed.
Duos confirmed coming season 4, by the way. Just kidding. Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they'll just lower the ammo count eventually.
I really hope so. Let me catch up on chat here real quick. It's BBMF with the 1,000 biddies. Hell yeah, dude. Sorry I couldn't get to you in time, or earlier rather. I had to. These patch notes make me furious. That Activision Infinity Ward as a multi-billion, maybe, probably not, multi-million dollar company has no excuse to be this incompetent with patch notes. It's more about the principle than the RPG itself for me. But it's also about the RPG. It makes me furious. It makes me go on rants. But nonetheless, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits, sir. That is very kind of you. I very much appreciate it. Super generous. And thank you so much, dude. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see. What do we have here? Let me catch up on chat real quick. Let's see. Okay, Tanner.
Get to gifts. Read the last message before you get to the other ones because he's leaving.
Oh, okay. All right, Gift Curse, take it easy. Just passed out and woke up to RPG talk. I'm so sorry to hear that. As if it wasn't bad enough, I passed out drunk at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night. God, I hate RPGs. Yeah, you and me both, brother. All right, dude. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good night as well, brother. Sleep tight.
Thanks, dude.
And we appreciate you stopping by. What do we have here? Ace usually puts a video up covering those. Yeah, if you wanted to do if you wanted to just get a download on all the stealth changes, like I said, subscribe to Exclusive Ace on YouTube. He goes over all the stealth changes really well, and he goes in a lot more detail than we do. And he also gives a little bit of analysis himself. But so if you just wanted the information, Ace is a good person to go to for that. If you want most of the information and an angry tirade, then you can come here. but if you're just looking for the information real quick, 10-minute video, Ace is perfect for that. So yeah, I'm probably gonna make this a YouTube clip because of how furious Activision makes me. But not for the purposes of disseminating the information, but rather for the explication of how fucking unforgivable this is. Do notes that only say servers are back up count? Yeah, good point, Blood. Well, they fucked those up too, by the way, recently.
Yeah,
I might add, recently. So I had 2 stouts tonight and somehow got a good buzz going. Well, 2 stouts in a 110-pound person's quite a bit of alcohol, so don't pass out, Blood. What's up, base guy? 85. Have you guys been crashing since yesterday?
Yesterfat.
Yeah, yesterfat was confusing me. I don't know what crashing means. I don't know what
your game. Have you played in the game?
Oh, the game. No, I haven't crashed once. Itchy crashed last night though.
I haven't played, so I haven't crashed. I was a lot since the last update though, base.
This game's a fucking mess. It's a mess, and they're making so much money that it's never gonna change. That's what makes me the most mad. There's no change on the horizon because they've made so much goddamn money from this game that there's no incentive for them to start hiring a gibbon to do quality assurance, which would be an improvement from whatever the fuck they have over on QA presently. So it's not going to change as much with as much money as they're making. Just hand over fist, cash. For a lot of good reasons, they're making a lot of money, but I don't know. It makes me furious. So anyway, let's move on here. A couple more graphics. So here's the Pila. This is for the damage radius. Pre-patch, it was a gradient. So it went up in very gradual. I shouldn't even say gradual. It was a gradient. So at the edge of the radius, it would do like 200. That's not the right number, but whatever. And then if you went like another 1/8 of a meter in, it would do like 197. So it was just a gradation. But post-patch, there are very strict damage ranges. And if you guys want to see this, again, you can watch exclusive Aces video on it. This is where I got the graphics from. And also, you could watch the video episode of the pod, which is on YouTube. You can search for Razanon or the Dropshot. Or you can watch us live, twitch.tv/Razanon, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So I have that on screen now. So basically, the damage radiuses got changed from a gradient to very strict steps. And you can see the damage values there. Here's the Strela. Same thing. A lot more steep of a drop off there. The Joker, which is just 2 red circles, Keck W. And then the RPG. So this
Keck W's in the chat.
Keck W's in the chat. So
that's actually funny.
So yeah. So for the RPG, if you guys are looking at the screen now, you will see this is the most important one to cover, so I'm going to take a minute. Post patch, within a 2.5 meter radius is the one hit kill, even if you're at full health, full armor. That is relatively generous, especially if you're like right behind a wall. They can shoot at the corner of that wall and one tap you, even if you have full health and full armor. So that is not great. Not great. And it doesn't take skill, really. I mean, you need to know where the person is, but if you're like in a gunfight and someone runs right behind a wall and then you shoot the RPG like right as they're running away, for example, it doesn't matter how much armor they have, you're going to one tap them. And it is completely outrageous that they changed this from before to where that was not possible if the person was at full armor. I mean, I shouldn't be able to die, especially with how much range the RPG has too. That's another big problem. Like, yeah, I can die behind a wall if you stick me or throw a nade right at my feet, but the blast radius of those things is way smaller, and it's way harder to throw a projectile in the correct spot to one tap you than it is to just shoot a rocket right behind the corner. You know, it's so dumb. So 2.5 meters is quite generous in my view. Do you think that's pretty big, Tanner? Or am I bugging, as the kids say?
You're definitely not bugging at all. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't understand them, dude. Let's hold on. Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Base Guy 85 in chat is saying that the RPG takes too long to fire. Base, you're pissing me off. For as fast paced this game is, it takes too long to fire when it's out. I get the drop and still can't get it off. Okay, Base, are you talking about Warzone or in multiplayer? Because I'm about to be furious and unfriend you on Facebook.
I think what he's referring to. So, look, I hate myself for giving you tips on how to use an RPG effectively, but here we go. If you know where someone is, I think what he's referring to is it takes too long to go from hip fire to shooting the rocket. What you want to do is, especially if you know someone's there, you're behind the wall, and then this guy is behind another wall, but he's mounted on the wall, and he's ready to shoot you. And you're saying you probably walk into the line of sight, and then you press fire, and then your guy pulls it up and then fires, and then by that time you're dead or you're downed. What you need to do is ADS with the RPG, and then it fires instantly. What the thing that you're talking about that is slow with firing the RPG is technically the ADS time. And the RPG requires you be ADS'd before it will fire. So it can't hip fire like an SMG can. You can't just start shooting it without your character pulling it to his shoulder. So what you do is you ADS first, and then you peek the corner, and then you can instantly fire it. Instantly fire it. In which case it doesn't take too long at all. You just have to be scoped in first, pre-aim it essentially. And then it'll fire literally instantly as soon as you press the fire button. So keep that in mind. Strong and Nerdy, what's up, dude? Chris, welcome. But yeah, it's not that good in multiplayer. I don't have any problem with it in multiplayer. It's gonna one tap you no matter what. Let me rephrase. I do have a problem with an RPG in multiplayer. It shouldn't exist in the game, period, because it's way too good at killing people and it's not fun. Launchers should exist to take down streaks. Like, they shouldn't exist to like destroy people on B at shipment, which it can do very well. But it's not nearly as much of a problem as it is in Warzone. So keep those things in mind. Let's see. Just took a mean drop from a 25-75 tincture. Ooh. 25 THC, 75 CBD. I'm assuming that's what that means. They made a lot of my "that is why I blame the community, know the company." Cubus, I know English isn't your first language, but I still find whatever you just typed unacceptable because I don't know what you're trying to say. Tanner, do you know what he's trying to say?
I didn't even read it. I'm trying to find it.
Scroll the fuck up then.
Chat's lit. Sorry, guys. Let me scroll up.
That is a good point, Raz. It's a solid metric fuck ton of copies. Yeah. 5.3 is pretty average for ABV. Yeah, it's average. Let's see. All RPG that butthole. Damn, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. What are you talking about?
I feel like I don't die to RPGs all that often, but it makes me angry when I do. It's not even that you can die to RPGs. It's that it's a cheap and skillless way to get a kill. Like, if I can't see you, I shouldn't be able to die to an RPG in one shot. That's outrageous. It's way too easy to do for it to be that effective. Now, again, I don't think RPGs are that big of a deal in multiplayer. But in Warzone, they're a huge deal. And now they're even stronger, which is an outrage. It is a travesty. So. Anyways, let's move on. So that's it for the stealth changes. And I'm deeply upset with this RPG thing. I disagree with Tanner. I think they will revert the damage values back to pre-patch. If they don't, I still think every launcher except for the Joker will at least have its max damage be reduced to be less than 250. Maybe they'll do 245, but that would be way better than 250. Because in that case, at the very least, I know that I won't get downed by one rocket no matter what I do, as long as they hit it in the kill zone. So even 245 would be way better than 250. That's why the 250 value is so outrageous, in my view. So, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Whether or not, this is obviously the result of incompetence, but my question is, do you think they intended to make this change and then they just forgot to put it in the patch notes? Or do you think they made this change on accident and that's why it's not in the patch notes, because they didn't even know the change got made, but it was like some kind of accident? Do you see what I'm asking?
I don't think it's either. I think they made the change on purpose and it was just incorrect completely in the patch notes. That RPG buff has been in the game for like, what, 3 weeks now?
No, for 9 days.
It was done before that.
The
If you
18th.
watch, no. I'm almost positive one of exclusive videos where he talked about the stealth changes, he wasn't even sure when it was added in, and I'm pretty sure it was RPG when he said it was sometime between the last time he checked them and this patch. He wasn't positive, so it could have been in the game for weeks. I'm almost
sure
positive that was the
okay.
video.
Regardless. So again, do you think they meant to make this change then?
Yes.
And they just never said anything?
Yes.
Interesting.
Absolutely. You don't add 100 damage on accident.
Well, look, normally I would agree with you. But they fucked everything up. And they've introduced so many bugs they didn't mean to that, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it was a notes error or a coding error, but either of them is totally unacceptable. So it almost doesn't matter to me. But I will say, I hope it's a coding error, because that means it will likely get reverted. But you might be right. I don't know. But this video by Ace is pretty new. And if it was a coding error, then that means they probably didn't even know it was in the game until Ace told them, because they don't have a quality assurance team. So now, if it was a coding error, and if we are going to see it be reverted, it would be relatively soon, I think. So
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. But it's outrageous regardless. So let's move on to the next section here. News and upcoming changes. So Season 4 for MW releases on June 3rd, which is, yes, so you were right, Tanner, a week from today, on Wednesday. So there was a new trailer. It was largely devoid of information, but there were a couple nice little nuggets we could glean from it. And there are actually quite a few leaks to go over. So the big thing for the trailer is the new operator, Price. You can see him here. He's like one of the central characters of the Modern Warfare franchise. How excited are you, Tanner, on a scale of 1 to 10 of Price being a playable operator?
3.2.
Cool. I'm 1.
Don't give a fuck, yeah.
Don't care. Don't care. So, but everyone else is excited about it. So many of you probably are. So Price is getting released. That's cool, I guess. And then it also showcases new weapons like the Vector and potentially the Galil. And we're going to get into those in a bit. And then, so yeah, the new trailer's out. You guys can watch that if you want. We're not going to watch it now. It's pretty uneventful as far as I'm concerned. But there is some cool information that we can get from that. But before we get to that, another thing that was hinted at in the trailer on like one of the laptops or whatever, it says something about a nuke. Now, there are two prevailing theories about what this could mean and how it could relate to how the Warzone map is going to change and how it has been hinted at by Infinity Ward that the map will change. And these are the two most likely candidates from what I've been able to gather. One is that the dam is going to get nuked. So as we have talked about on the pod, the dam is like starting to leak a little, or it has cracks in it, but it hasn't started leaking yet. So people were thinking maybe the dam is going to like flood and then that'll change the Warzone map. So it's not going to be a new map, but it's going to be the same map, but it's just going to be changed. Similar to Jungle Flooded or Arsenal Sandstorm or Hacienda Twilight, a la Black Ops 4. So one of how the nuke would tie into this is if the dam gets nuked instead of just starts leaking, that would make the dam area look nuked. And also, supposedly, there would be a bunch of fucking water all around the map, or at least around that area of the map.
Big yikes.
Big yikes for you. Any other thoughts than yikes, Tanner?
I don't
Assuming
understand.
the dam gets nuked.
Okay, I don't understand. Everyone keeps thinking these nukes are going to happen. And, you know, I've fallen victim to it as well because of what everyone else thinks. If a nuke hits the dam, okay, this game is supposed to be somewhat realistic, right? Isn't that what Infinity Ward's going for? Somewhat. If they, quote unquote, nuke the dam or the city, that would destroy the whole fucking map. What do they think? They're going to drop a nuke on a little city that's a half mile wide and that's the only thing that's going to be destroyed?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a fair
People
point.
keep talking about a nuke. It would destroy the entire map.
Well,
That's why I feel like if a nuke is coming, the map's going to be destroyed. We're going to have a new map, which doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
Agreed.
I don't know.
But they also refer to them as quote unquote tactical nukes. So maybe it's like a little baby nuke.
Little baby boy, yeah. It's not as big as what the United States dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That's certainly true, particularly Nagasaki. Read a book. So if Dam did get a Hiroshima-sized nuke minus 0.5, how do you think that would change the map? How do you think you would like it? Any thoughts?
If there's water everywhere, it's going to be a worse map, no matter how you look at it. It would always be worse, no matter what. I don't want a bunch of water. Mm-hmm. Now, if downtown was destroyed, I would like the map a lot more, and I know you would too. That's the worst part of the map. I mean, we hate running through that. Okay, but anyways, if it's just Dam we're talking about, the map being flooded, I would hate it, and I don't think anyone else would like it. You know, people are like craving for some sort of event to happen because they play Fortnite and they're 14 years old and they play on their Xbox that their mom bought them for Christmas 3 years ago. But that wouldn't be fun, playing on a flooded map.
Yeah, agreed. Now, the only thing with the Dam, though, is like, what if instead of the map being flooded, they nuke the Dam and then all the water gets released, but then there's just like water on the ground, but it's only like half an inch deep in most spots, so that you don't have to actually swim. You can still play as normal, but it just looks different. And then the Dam is radically different because all the buildings got destroyed, but there's no like swimming element. Would that change anything for you?
I would be completely okay with that. And that really would make more sense now that you say that, because they're not going to add in a swimming animation.
Yeah, there isn't one. That's a great point. So
that makes a lot of sense. If it was just something like that, then yeah, it's not a big deal. And if it destroyed, parts of the map on the way in, I would kind of be upset if it destroyed military base, because that's like my favorite place to land. But no, that would be fine as long as we don't have to swim or something, and as long as we don't have to swim and they're not going to add boats in, I would be okay.
I think you make such a good point that is completely convincing to me, which is that as far as we know, there's no swimming animation in the game. I don't recall ever swimming in the campaign either. Do you?
Mm-mm.
I don't recall it. So if there's no swimming animation already in the game, there's a 0% chance that they're going to suddenly add that just to change an existing map. So there is a second theory about this nuke, because again, the nuke is mentioned in the trailer for season 4, but it was also, there's a nuke sitting inside Bunker 11, which we talked about a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So they've been hinting at this whole nuke thing, and they've also been hinting at the map changing a la Fortnite for a while. So I think it is all but confirmed that some part of the map for Warzone will be nuked, and it's going to change how the map looks. I think that is all but confirmed. So the Dam was one theory, and the second theory, I don't know where they got this from. I think it might be wishful thinking on the part of the player base, and I'm right there with them, that downtown would get nuked. And that's how the multiplayer the Warzone map would change. Now, I have two questions for you, Tanner. We're going to start with question 1. Have you heard this theory? And if you have, is there any basis for downtown being purported as the target specifically? Or is it purely wishful thinking and people are just hoping downtown happens to be the spot they pick?
I think it's more people hoping it's downtown,
because I haven't seen anything where it's like, because they've been hinting at the nuke, but I don't see anywhere where they've hinted at the nuke hitting downtown. Have you?
No, not exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more just wishful thinking.
Okay. I think you're right. And if anyone knows if there was ever a hint as to why downtown specifically would have been nuked, please let us know. But that takes me to my second question, Tanner, which is, how would the gameplay experience of the BR change for you if downtown did get nuked? First of all, what would that look like? And second of all, how would it play?
Just a bunch of rubble everywhere, maybe. If it's that case, then the visibility in that area would be bad because Infinity Ward would add 4.3 million floating dust particles in the air.
True.
So we wouldn't be able to see more than 30 meters. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Okay. We hate downtown and we don't like running through it. And for that reason, we usually just avoid it. So it wouldn't, if nothing happens in downtown, it stays the way it is, it wouldn't be the biggest deal because a lot of people have just learned to avoid it. I mean, I don't think the final zone really ends there often, does it? Can you think of many times we've ended in downtown? I can't really think of any.
Just as often as any other place. I mean,
I don't know. I don't think it's
random.
ever happened.
Okay.
Well, it's not completely random, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's easy enough to just avoid it if we don't want to play there. But if there was a better area to fight over in place of downtown and a bunch of skyscrapers, everyone would enjoy that more.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so I actually didn't think about that, but the dust would be fucking outrageous, which would not be great. But I still think I would rather have that than downtown as it is now. Because it's such a fucking death trap as it is now. So many buildings to camp in. It's just, it's crazy. So I think that would be cool. I don't know how likely it is. And community pressure wouldn't cause them to nuke downtown because they must have started on whatever the project is way before there was community pressure to nuke downtown, for example.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever the plan was, it was formulated and worked on well in advance of us actually getting info that something might be nuked, and therefore the community saying nuke downtown. So I hope it's downtown, but I don't know. But it also doesn't seem very likely to me that the dam gets nuked, though. I don't know why. But it's just so... It's like at the edge of the map, you know?
Yeah,
it's at the very
exactly.
edge of the map. Like, it wouldn't change that much. So I feel like that isn't it either. So honestly, if I had to make a prediction, I would say... Ooh, I had to crack my back. It is neither at dam nor at downtown. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
That's crazy. It would be downtown just because of the fact that there would obviously, if they're going for the realistic aspect again, there'd be way more people there.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. It remains to be seen. I guess I'll amend my prediction. It won't be dam. That's my prediction. That's as far as I'm willing to go. That's as far as I'm willing to go. So, let's catch up on chat here real quick. Why paid $10 to play his price when you can play him as free in the story mode? Keck W. True. Chris. True. Wave runners, gunboats. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like having to swim. That's it's so cumbersome to me. Stick to your pistolas. Welcome, dude. I'm down for some Wave Race 64. Damn, dude. That's like a arcade game, isn't it? Wave Racer. I think it is. I don't know though. They can start by fixing the horseshit visibility. True. Absolutely true. One of my biggest problems with this game. But if they nuke downtown, the visibility is going to get worse, not better, as Tanner made the excellent point too. And then Base Guy makes a good point. I was actually going to mention this. So you can hear them from 2 miles away running through the water, assuming the water's only like 2 inches deep. Yes. Yes, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. I don't know how much louder watery footsteps would be than regular footsteps. I would assume it's quite a bit louder, actually, but I don't really know. But that would introduce a new gameplay element, and if it was louder, that would be bad for people who like to run and gun. So that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Realistically, all the plates would make you sink like a brick. That's very true. Tactical nuke at a certain time would be different. Not sure what that's in reference to. Sofita, welcome. ¿Por qué está todo oscuro? If my Spanish from high school 12 years ago serves me well, then that says because everything is obscured?
Quote. I mean, close.
What is it?
Because it's all dark.
Okay. Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, I looked it up on Google.
Little Google Translate action. The red zone play. I don't know what that's in reference to either. If water was released at a certain time, then you get an environmental variable. Some Hunger Games shit. Oh, it's an N64 game. Oh, damn. Damn, you out-boomered me, base guy. You out-boomered the boomer.
Well,
that
he's 31 or 32.
That is surprising. If he was born in 85, that is probably true. Someone's going to have to double-check the math on that, though. Let's see. Moose Jaw, welcome. First time live, followed last night. Been listening on iTunes for a few weeks now. Thanks, dudes, for making my workday bearable. Hoping to catch some live Warzone tonight. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, Moose Jaw. Well, thank you for being a listener. And it's an honor and a privilege to have you here live. I hope you enjoy your stay. And make sure you join the fucking Discord. If porque is written as one word, it means because. If it's written as two words, it means why. Now,
damn.
I'm pretty sure. We can ask Cubas for confirmation on that, our resident Spanish speaker.
I think you're right.
So, anyways, let's move on here. I think we need a new map altogether. Change it up, says the New Hampshire Gunslinger. Yeah, I agree with that, but that's a huge project because a Warzone map is a lot more work than like a new multiplayer map. So anyways, let's move on here. So some other things that were leaked and hinted at. Oh, before we move on, actually, remember how they were talking about Fortnite-like in-game events, Tanner?
Yeah.
Do you think there would be one for when the nuke drops?
At this point, no. I wanted to believe that at first. I think what would happen is there would be an update. We would log in. There would be a video, kind of like the season 4 teasers or something. There would be a video showing what happens. And then you just log in and the map's different. Which Fortnite also did that as well. So in their defense, technically that is a Fortnite-like event. Because they would also do a video at the start of a season showing what changed, and then you'd log in and it'd be like that. Also with their live events, you know, they'd have both. So interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it would be anything like that infamous concert that Fortnite had, because you might want to be somewhere live for a concert. You probably don't want to be somewhere live for a nuclear explosion. Right, so that
I would love to experience it.
That probably wouldn't make much sense. Like, everyone loads into a BR, everyone loads into the map, and then the nuke drops and everyone just dies. It says Warzone victory, Infinity Ward, Ashton Williams, get fucked, nerds. That'd be fantastic.
We do live in Los Angeles County, though. We need to be prepared because Russia will nuke us one of these days. Russia or China will drop a nuke on us. So
true.
We need to be prepared. So that's the best practice we can get.
Vladimir
for
Putin.
The real thing.
Vladimir Putin, spare me.
Please.
I'm happy to be a Russian
Vlad.
native. Or citizen, rather. Okay, so there were some other leaks, and these are both in the game files, and they were also hinted at in the trailer. Number one is the Galil assault rifle. This will likely be released at the Season 4 launch. All right, base guy, take it easy, dude. Thank you for stopping by, brother. I appreciate it. Make sure you join the fucking Discord. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you here live, sir.
I don't think that's what he means. I think he was talking about he's on the East Coast, so he'll also get nuked, but we'll see.
Oh, shit, my bad.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Sorry, base, if I got that wrong. I thought you were trying to say bye. But anyways, the Galil assault rifle will probably be released at the launch of Season 4. Because when Season 3 launched, we got 2 weapons right away in the Battle Pass stream, which were the... Fuck, what were they, Tanner?
You're going to ask me that question?
Dude, what were they?
This season?
Season 3, at the launch, The Holger was season 2, right?
The Vect was it was the Striker.
Striker and the Growl, right?
Was it the Growl? I was thinking the Growl, but that seems like it's been out for a while. No, the Growl was before that. Oh fuck! What kind of podcasters are we, dude?
All right, later, base. Take it easy, dude. Interesting. I think it was the Growl and the Striker, but anyways, whatever.
SKS. Yeah, Blood said it.
Oh, SKS. Got it. And Renetti? Really? Okay, whatever. Either way, there were 2 weapons that were in the battle stream tier thing, whatever the fuck, when season 3 launched. And I think the same is true for season 2. And maybe season 1. So season 4 is probably going to be the same. And one of those 2 weapons is likely going to be the Galil assault rifle. And this was developed by Israel, as New Hampshire Gunslinger inartfully put it in the Twitch chat, which I will not be reading aloud. But it was developed by the IDF in real life. And it'll probably come out at the launch of season 4. One of the things, or a couple of the things that are interesting about this, this was known as the Grav in Black Ops 4. And it's been in other Call of Duty games besides BO4. A couple interesting data points I took from this. Number 1, it's going to be 7.62 ammo as opposed to 5.56. That's a higher caliber bullet, so it does more damage in this game. Other things that are 7.62 that are ARs in this game are, I think, the Scar, the Odin, and the AK. So I would expect this to have the damage profile of probably the AK. So based on the 7.62 ammo alone, Tanner, how good do you think this gun will be?
Well, I mean, you pretty much said it, basically. It's going to be a hard hitting, but it'll be it'll have a very low fire rate. So, Elk pretty much just said it perfectly in chat. He said it's the poor man's AK. So that's what it's going to be. That's basically what it is in real life. In this game, I don't even expect it to be as good as the AK, really. So it's going to be horrible. It's another weapon we can use.
You think it's going to be worse than the AK?
I do. I do.
Interesting. Super interesting.
Yeah. So,
super fucking interesting.
It's always good to have good weapons. I mean, new weapons in the game, but
true.
You know, there's already a few fantastic assault rifles. I don't see any of the other ones being added in ever having the ability to take over those ARs. So,
well, let me rebuke your point by asking you, what is the best assault rifle in the game right now?
The M13.
No. Try again.
The M4?
No.
It's the M4, dude.
It's the Growl, which was
well,
added after launch.
Okay, well, the Galil is 7.62. It's going to have a very low fire rate. It's not going to be good.
Look, I don't know. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to be like the best gun in the game like the Growl is. But I'm hoping that it is an actually decent or even good 7.62 AR in this game. Now, no such AR exists yet, but this is a whole new gun. And it would be nice if it was top tier because it would at least shake up the AR meta. And even if it didn't, it would be able to occupy a different niche than any gun currently fills right now. Because like the Odin hits really hard, but it has too low of a fire rate. Scar hits really hard, but it has limited magazine capacity and doesn't handle super well. So I'm just curious what kind of attachments are going to be on this gun and what the base stats are going to be like, because I would love to have a viable 7.62 option in this game, because right now there just doesn't exist one. The AK in particular is such a fucking massive disappointment in this game. It's so bad. And the reason that's such a travesty is that it sounds and feels so good. It just feels like a fucking Kalashnikov, dude. Let's just bang it out, dude. Like a brave mujahideen just fucking shooting down the Russians in the 80s.
Jesus.
In the fucking balls deep in the Middle East, dude. That's the feeling I get. But unfortunately, it's garbage. It's garbage in this game. So hopefully this will be a good alternative. It's also going to have a 10-round mag, similar to the M4's SOCOM rounds, which also come in a 10-round magazine. And the way they balance the SOCOM rounds are, it does a fuck ton of damage, but it has like a slower fire rate. And again, it's only a 10-round magazine. Do not expect that to be good. There's almost no way that that's actually going to be good. But it's another interesting little point to keep in mind. So, what else do we have here?
I'm gonna go pee.
Okay. So a couple nerds arguing about guns. Real life guns. This is a video
All guns should be
game.
banned.
Okay. That's the Dropshot does not necessarily endorse the views of the hosts of the Dropshot podcast. That is a corporate statement that I just had to read from our corporate overlords. That's me, by the way. Yeah, that's okay. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, so I'm not reading any of this in Twitch chat for those of you listening because they're arguing about ammo types in real life and stuff. So 7.62 by 51 by 39. Don't know what those things mean. Tanner chimed in about a Mosin Nagant. He said Mosin. I think it's Mosin, right? It's like a Japanese rifle. Not sure because I'd never even seen a gun in real life, sadly. But that's what I think it's called. So keep that in mind. A slingshot can sling many small objects, says Elkhounds. That was a very important and insightful addition to the conversation, so thank you, Elk. In game values, the Galil should have more DPS than the AK. That is the... Okay, Blood. That makes sense. Well, we'll see. If it has more damage than the AK, that's probably going to mean that it's actually bad. Because, more DPS or more damage per bullet? Because, like, an MP5 has more DPS than an AK, but each bullet doesn't do more damage. DPS is an RPG term. You gotta be careful using that. But you could mean what you said. Zorosio Khan with the 500 biddies. Let's fucking go. Now, Raz, for that cheer, head to a gun range and shoot a real gun. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the 500 bits, dude. It's an honor and a privilege to have you back in the stream. And I thank you very much for the 500 bits, dude. That's very generous of you. Very nice. I will, on your recommendation, try and get to a gun range. I think I was going to float this idea later, but I'll mention it now. I think a fun vlog would be Tanner takes Casey to the gun range and I film it, edit a cute little vlog out of it. And it would be my first time ever going to a gun range, seeing a gun in real life, or shooting a gun, obviously. And then I could like put that on the YouTube channel. That might be a fun little watch. Would you be up for going to the gun range after the coronavirus has been shot up?
I mean, you can go now. They don't give a fuck.
Okay.
But yeah, I was actually thinking about that recently. That's funny. Yeah, we should go.
A gun range vlog or just going shooting?
Just going in general.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna monetize it, so keep that in mind.
Like I've gone with like Gabe and Joey and Ben and shit. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All the boys, dude. All the boys. That'd be
Just
cool.
go out to the desert too.
Well, or Big Bear, right? They don't give a shit, do they?
Actually,
I feel like they're all like a bunch of Karens in Big Bear.
No, they're a bunch
locals.
of meth heads.
Don't
No,
ever
they're
move
not.
your
They're
straw
meth
into your
heads.
mic again.
Was that loud?
Yes, it was obnoxious as shit. So.
Should I make that a emote like the glass one?
No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
Because let's not make that a habit. All right, let's move on here. So the next weapon in the files that is likely going to be released in the Battle Pass stream on release day. And this one everyone's clamoring for, which I am in agreement with, is a fan favorite in the Call of Duty franchise. The Vector SMG. I think it's the Chris Vector. For you fucking gun nerds in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And in the game files, interestingly, it's called a Fennec. Fennec? I wasn't sure what Ace was saying in his video, but it sounded like Fennec. But everyone thinks it's a Vector. There was someone holding a Vector in the trailer, so it is extremely likely that it comes out at launch of Season 4. And if not, it's certainly going to come out at some point, maybe in the middle of Season 4. But we're going to be seeing the Vector, which is a sub. In certain Call of Duty games, the Vector was classified as an assault rifle. I don't know which, and it might have only been one, in fact, but sometimes it was classified as an AR. So it's possible that they release it as an AR, but in all likelihood, it will be an SMG category in this game. A couple interesting notes for this game. It does have a colossal suppressor equivalent. So there's only one Colossus or colossal suppressor. I don't know which form of that word they used in this game. And it's for the Odin. It has like a Colossus suppressor. So it's way bigger than the monolithic, and it like greatly increases your recoil control and your damage range. And then of course it gives you that suppression effect with the downside of very slow handling and mobility because it's so thick. Why the fuck would they put this on an SMG? I have no idea. So, what? Okay. Could you see yourself using a Colossus suppressor on a fucking Vector submachine gun in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 Game of the Year Edition, Tanner?
Do you remember what the Colossus suppressor did? What did it do? Damage, range, recoil control, probably.
And I think bullet velocity.
And then the negative is probably ADS speed.
ADS speed, probably aim walking speed, maybe steadiness, aim walking
So
steadiness.
no, there's no reason to use that on an SMG. Absolutely fucking not.
For me, it depends on what other attachments are available for the Vector. So if I can get really insane like mobility out of this gun, such that I can afford to take the hit to my mobility by adding this suppressor on there, I might actually run it. It just depends how much it slows it down from what it would be slowed down by without it, basically.
Yeah.
So if it handles really fast, I could see myself using it. And it's also going to depend on how much it actually increases my damage range. Because if it increases my damage range by like 5 meters, obviously I'm not using it. But if it can increase it by like 15 meters, then it might be fucking good. And it might be worth using. Especially if it increases bullet velocity, which is the most important gun stat in this game. And that's especially true for Warzone, where people are farther away. So that'll be interesting. I think it's just super weird and like random that they have that attachment as an option on a sub. Like, it's so weird. But that is very strange. It's super weird, but I'm interested to see how it plays. And then there's also going to be the .45 hollow point rounds. And I think this is looking exactly like the Striker's attachment. So this is an ammo attachment for the Striker. 45 point hollow rounds, whatever. It makes it a 12 round magazine that is fired in 2 round bursts that do an insane amount of damage. And I believe the Striker, within a respectable range, is a 2 bullet, in other words, 1 burst kill to the upper chest or the head. So if you aim very well, the Striker with the hollow point, in multiplayer at least, can be worth running. And we saw, Tanner brought this to my attention, a video of the gaming definition when this came out. an absolutely disgusting Call of Duty PC player using this in Ground War on Karst River Quarry, where he was staying inside the buildings such that all of his engagements were relatively close range. And because he's so accurate, he was very reliably one-tapping everyone. And at that point, the fact that the magazine is so small isn't that much of an issue because each magazine can kill six people before you have to reload. So I would never use this myself, but we don't really have confirmation if it's going to be burst fire, and we don't really have confirmation if it's only going to hold 12 rounds. If it holds more than 12 rounds, but it's still a 2-round burst, I still might use it. Or if it only holds 12 rounds, but it can be fully automatic, probably wouldn't use it, but maybe I would. Maybe I would. So we'll see what that is going to look like. But this is less confirmed because the theory is this might be a placeholder for some other type of ammo attachment. But assuming it is the hollow point rounds that function the same way as the strikers, any thoughts on that, Tanner?
I'm wondering if it will be kind of like the MP5 has the 30 round 10 millimeter ammunition. I'm wondering if this will have just something like that. It'll have a 45 hollow point, 30 round magazine, which in that case would be super dope.
Yes. That's what
if it's not some tiny burst magazine. Because obviously as the gaming definition showed us, that little burst mag can be really good, but also 99.9% of the player base doesn't have aim as good as him. So it's not a good attachment for the majority of the players. And
even if they do, you would never use that in Warzone because you can't one-tap in Warzone anyway, so it would be dumb. Mm-hmm. But for multiplayer, yeah, I can see your point though. So let's move on here. We also have the XM109/Rytec AMR, which stands for Anti-Materiel Rifle. I don't know if that's a real gun. New Hampshire Gunslinger can tell us in the chat if it is. I don't think it is, but basically this is designed to fuck up vehicles. So you shoot, which I think would be fantastic. If it like 5 shots tanks, that would be so great. I would be so happy with that. Or like 2 shots helicopters. That would be so nice to have for ground war so that you could fuck up tanks, but you can also snipe people with it. That would be great. And this, however, has fewer files right now in the game. So this is likely not going to come out right when Season 4 launches. It's going to be more like a mid-season release. In the same way that a lot of these DLC guns have been. So a new sniper would be nice. And I think this would fill a unique niche. Tanner, what are your thoughts on this gun?
I looked this up because I wasn't sure what it was. So it's actually made by Barrett. And like you said, it's an
not another
anti.
Barrett.
No.
Not
It's no. It's not. So it's an anti-material rifle, but it fires rounds that are called, what are the rounds? 25 by 59 millimeter. It says it uses 25 by 59 millimeter grenades. The grenades are shaped like bullets, so they are able to bounce.
Whoa.
Because the grenades
and this is the
weapon uses
gun,
are now
right?
available in airburst configurations. The weapon can technically fire around corners and tight spaces. What?
But this is the real life gun.
Supposedly. I don't know if that information's correct. It could be false, but that's what I'm reading online. That's
probably true, but also...
It looks like a Barrett 50 cal. Just like a shorter, thicker barrel.
I wouldn't put too much stock into what it does in real life to determine how it's going to play in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's assume it functions like this, like it's a really heavy-hitting, otherwise relatively normal sniper that does a ton of vehicle damage. How do you feel about that being released to the game?
Everyone has been asking for a sniper rifle, so if they don't put one out this season, they fucked up. They should have already done it. I think it'd be fine. That whole anti-material rifle thing, Hey, maybe it'd help us in ground war, dude. What if we could take down an APC or something in like 6 shots?
I know.
You know, that fire relatively quickly.
I agree. I
would possibly run that.
I agree.
Because that ruins ground war. Vehicles ruin ground war, by the way.
They really fucking do. So yeah, like, I think this is cool. I would also like to see a sniper that is a cross between the AX50 and the HDR. So something that handles a little faster than an HDR, but does a little more damage than an AX50. I think that would be great. But this is even more unique than that would be. So that would be cool as well. So I'm excited to see, no matter what it is, I'm excited to see it because we do need a new sniper for sure. But I mean, like, I remember when the Locust released for Black Ops 4, I loved that gun. And the reason I loved it is because it was a cross between the Koshka and the Paladin. It did more damage than the Koshka, but it was faster firing than the Paladin. It was like the perfect cross between those two, and it was right in the sweet spot for me as far as snipers go. You're not gonna one tap everything like a Paladin, but it also handles way faster. And I'm like willing to take that trade-off, you know?
Yeah, that was such a fun sniper to use. You're right. That was the best sniper in Black Ops 4 for sure. It was so fun to use.
For sure. Yeah. So it would be nice to get something like that again. And it doesn't sound like this is going to be that sniper, but maybe it is. We don't have that much information on it yet. So we'll see what comes of that. But that is going to be probably in the middle of season 4. And then last but not least, the AN-94. This also, if it releases in season 4, it would be in the middle of the season. And in Call of Duties of the past, by the way, I don't know if this is a real gun, and if it is, I don't know if this is how it functions. But in every Call of Duty, this is how it's functioned. The AN-94 will fire its first 2 bullets at a higher fire rate than the rest of the bullets in the automatic rifle stream. So if the RPMs of the 3rd through 90th bullet are 600 RPM, the first 2 bullets fired at 800 RPM. And then after that, it dropped off to 600 or whatever I said. So that is how every AN-94 in the Call of Duty franchise has functioned. In Black Ops 4, it was a DLC gun and it was terrible. In BO3, I think, I didn't play much of that, but in BO3, apparently it was way better than it was in BO4. So that would be another interesting assault rifle in the game. And I think with how fast the time to kill is in Modern Warfare, I think it would be really fucking good, especially if it still has that first 2 bullets fire faster than the rest property. Because if you're accurate with your first shot, you get massively rewarded. And those 2 bullets, blah, blah, super bullet kids. That's a technical term for online shooter players, which is where, because the server is 2 hertz, even though you've received 5 bullets of damage, you don't register it until they've all hit you basically at the same time. They call that a super bullet. So that would be one of the kind of attributes of the AN-94. And it would probably be a 5.56 rifle in this game, just like all of the really dominant assault rifles currently are. Tanner, your thoughts?
I think it would be a fun gun to use. You make a really good point. If it had that first bullet velocity, or the quicker, higher fire rate at the beginning, I think it'd be really good. It would be extremely fun to use in this game. I don't know what they would chamber it in this game. I think it's kind of similar to the AKM, I want to say, which is like some weird round, like 5.45 or some shit. I don't know.
Interesting.
That'd be a fun. I just feel like they keep adding assault rifles in, though. You notice that? They're all assault rifles.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I mean, how many SMGs have we gotten added?
Striker.
That's all I can think of. What else was there?
I think that's it.
That's it. See?
There might be one more, but I can't think of it. No, I think that's it.
I think that's it as well.
Which is like hardly an SMG, really.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. That would be cool. And then a couple more leaks. New suspected maps. Not much info on these, except for a couple. The names are Garden, Broadcast, Oil Rig, Scrapyard, and Harbor. So we only have info on 2 of these maps, and that is because they would hopefully be remakes. So Broadcast was a COD 4 map, an OG Modern Warfare map, and then Scrapyard was a Modern Warfare 2 map. And I think Broadcast is in TV station in the BR, the Warzone map. And Scrapyard is definitely within, again, the Warzone map, but also within the Ground War map, Boneyard. It is between B and C. That is the map Scrapyard, basically. So those would be great, especially Scrapyard. I don't remember Broadcast. Did you like that map in COD 4, Tanner?
It was okay. It was too big for Call of Duty 4. I think it wasn't a map at launch, I don't believe. I think it was a DLC map back then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. But it was a little too big for Call of Duty at the time. Now I think it would play very well in 10v10 in this game. So that'll be cool. Interesting to see how they would put that in.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Let me make
Scrapyard would be 6s, I think.
Scrapyard would probably be 6s. That would be fun on 10s, though. I think it's big enough for 10s.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I need to write something down on my phone real quick. An end section. Okay. We're good. All right. So, what else do we have here? And then new gunfight maps. No info on these other than the names. Drainage, Townhouse, Train, and Trench. Too many T's. So whatever. We don't play gunfight much, so that's not going to matter too much. And then the new suspected operators price, which we went over. Gaz, also known as Kyle Garrick. He is in the campaign. And then Farah would be the last like protagonist from the campaign that could get added. And price is probably going to be launched in the beginning of season 4. And then Gaz and Farah probably in the middle of season 4. So that will be kind of interesting, I guess, if you're into operators, but I don't give a flying fuck. Let's see here. More completionist weapon camos are on the way as well. So we talked about the leaked calling cards, and this would ostensibly correspond with those. So there's not much information on these other than that art that we showed you in a few episodes ago. But supposedly, one of the potential requirements to unlock this gun, this camo, is to get mounted long shots. Which are like...
Holy fuck.
So getting mounted kills alone is a disaster, and it shouldn't be required to get a gun gold. Long shots makes more sense to me. But having to get mounted long shots is a fucking joke. So hopefully that's fake news, but it probably isn't, because a lot of the leaks I've seen this year about this game have been correct. So we'll see what the completionist camos are like in the future, what they look like, and what it will take to earn them. But hopefully that's not one of the requirements, although it probably will be. And then we have some Warzone leaked game modes. Just the names, really. Juggernaut. So that would probably center around the Juggernaut kill streak or something similar. Maybe you have to maybe instead of loadout drops, Juggernaut drops drop. You know how like loadout drops will randomly drop in the game, or you can buy one. Maybe it would be the same with Juggernaut. It'd be kind of cool. I feel like Juggernaut would be so OP in Warzone though. They would have to like rebalance it. So it would be interesting to see what that would be. It would be interesting because you move so slow, but if you can also get in a vehicle as a Juggernaut, you're kind of chilling.
Oh yeah, good point.
You know, especially if you like get the Juggernaut suit and then you put a trophy system on a chopper and then you have your friend drive and you just fucking rain down with a minigun like you're in the Battle of Ramadi in 2003.
Jeez.
That would be super interesting.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to our fallen veterans. Memorial Day was recently. So, and then another leaked game mode is Jailbreak. people suspect that maybe everyone who gets to the gulag gets released in waves. So like if you get to the gulag, instead of fighting to get out, they just release everyone who's in the gulag after the second circle, and then you all have a pistol and you try and kill each other or run away. And then they do it again after like the 4th and the 6th circle or something. That would be interesting.
Interesting again, but as we've said, LTMs suck.
Yeah, but these would all be LTMs, so yeah, it's kind of useless. And then the last one is TDM Anywhere. I don't know what the fuck that could really mean, to be honest.
Yeah, what the I have zero guesses on that one.
Maybe,
what the hell?
Maybe it's just like Warzone and like infinite respawns, and then whichever team has the most kills at the end of the match or at the final circle, like wins. So it's just like Warzone, except you just try and get as many fucking kills as you can.
Yeah, that I haven't even heard of that one yet.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then one last little news item here before we bang some games out. Recently, some gameplay from BO4 canceled campaign mode was revealed. You guys can check this out if you want. I wanted to include this in the event that someone would like be interested in looking into this. For those of you who played Black Ops 4. I played Black Ops 4 more than any other Call of Duty, but even I don't really care about this. But I thought that I would mention... Wait, what the fuck? Sorry. But I thought that I would mention that this at least got leaked. So like here is one such video from the campaign. And now for those of you who played BO4, you can see that this map on screen here appears to be, don't tell me, Seaside. And then you're just kind of like doing campaign kind of shit. So, interesting. Interesting.
Look at all that color, dude.
I know. All that visibility. It's fucking crazy.
Look at all that visibility.
Yeah, for real. For real. So, anyways. Anything else you wanted to go over here, young Tanner? Anything else to add? Okay, let's catch up on chat real quick, and then we'll get some fucking games in. We'll get some fucking games in. So, it is the Chris Vector. Good to know. Anyone dealing with firearms and ammo has been considered essential, which is why I still have a job, because I work for the company that supplies for classic firearms, Night Galaxy and Optics Planet, just to name a few. Which also means back to work I go. So see you later, Raz Tanner in chat. Oh, sorry, Zerosio. Sorry if I missed you, dude. But if you listen to the rest of this pod on your app, then thank you again for the bits, man. I appreciate it. And I hope you had a good day at work. It'd be cool if they added the 10 mil ammo, because this sub gun is also manufactured in 10 mil. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's 10 mil stock. It's possible. A lot of the guns in this game, like even between ARs, like a SCAR with no attachments is still 7.62 in this game. And then M4 is still 5.56, so.
Yeah.
An anti-tank recoilless rifle would be good. That would be great. That would be great. A Barrett could do it. A fucking MW2 Barrett. It could do anything, in fact. That gun was so dumb. In-game Galil better have a bottle opener like the IRL version. Does it really? Interesting. The Israeli Defense Force knows how to get down, dude. Call me a stupid bitch, but I want the Remington 700 from COD 4 back. Tanner, what are your thoughts? What is the Remington 700? I don't even know what that is.
It was one of the two main snipers. It was either the shut up, low cap. It was either the M40A3, which is what I used because it was better, or used the Remington 700. Both were bolt action. The Remington held 4 bullets. The M40 held 5. Both would be just good, solid sniper rifles in this game. Good bolt action rifles.
Interesting. Interesting. I'll keep that in mind. I feel like most of the snipers were overpowered in old CODs. They had like no recoil.
Oh, for sure.
It'd be sick if they made a 357 ammo for the Mark II. Higher rate of fire, less recoil / damage. Interesting. That would be cool, Blood, actually. I really like using the Mark II, but it's just not reliable enough. I got a nice quad feed like 2 weeks ago with it, fucking around on hard hat. And then I died, and then I got furious and switched to an MP5 and dropped a chopper gunner, probably. Mounted long shots are made by cunts that can't run and gun, and there's no cure for being a cunt. True. Riel says Camper's Delight. Also true. And I think they're referring to the mounted long shots. Very true. Hello, been listening to the pod on Spotify. Thanks for keeping me busy during work. Hell yeah, Dozy. It's an honor and a privilege, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you're able to join us live. We're going to get some games in a second. So what do we have here? Face Squire with the tier 1 sub. Let's fucking go. Face Squire, I'm honored, I'm privileged, and I'm humbled. Thank you for joining this small but vibrant and extremely humble community, sir. I thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it very, very goddamn much. All right. So that is it for the Dropshot episode 32. We're going to go get some games in over at Tanner's channel, but I will raid, so don't go anywhere. Viking, thank you again for the 3 gifted subs. As always, I fucking love you, dog. Much appreciated. BBMF for the 1,000 biddies. Thank you, sir. Zerosio Khan for the 500 biddies. Thank you, sir. Dozy for that follow. And Face Squire for that tier 1 sub. I appreciate all the support, boys. It has been real. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.